Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Gunn Show. My voice is still rubbish, but I want to give my love to everyone in California right now. That is actually how I lost my voice. Smog went into my lungs, and this is the result. But what I'm going through is not nearly as bad as what they are. So my love goes out, healing goes out, recovery goes out. You may notice in 2025 that my background is a little different, and it will change every single week. That's the cool part. Salim is with me today. Good to see you, Salim.
Good to see you, Tony.
He has invited me to a gorgeous area. This is actually Salim's home. Lucky guy, right? Yeah, very lucky guy. But we've decided to film outside. It's beautiful outside, and even though it's, wintertime for most of you out there, we're pretty comfortable today.
This is the winter in Florida.
So let me just get started by saying, if you've joined us for the first time, although I guess that happens because we continuously grow in hundreds of thousands of subscribers at this point, but if you've joined us for the first time and you stumbled on us by accident through Google or maybe a TikTok or an Instagram or something like that, Salim does have muscles. And he's also has worked in the military, so maybe if you showed up, so we can talk about some of those things. But I myself, I don't have muscles or guns. It's only a play on my last name. If you're joining us again, thank you. This podcast is about humanizing manufacturing. It's one of our passions, I would say, where everything that's made around us, including this pool and concrete and the poles and not the trees, not Salim and I, but most everything is touched by manufacturing one way or another. And we really want to escalate the credibility of you amazing people out there making everything around us, making the world a better place, a safer place, a cleaner place. All of this is done through manufacturing, and that's what this show is about. It's about humanizing the people behind the products, the people behind the technology, because they matter. You matter. Everyone matters so much to our well-being. Salim has joined me a few times. If you've been paying attention, this is episode 2 of 2025's Unplugged, but episode, 3 million maybe? Nah, we didn't do 3 million, but we've done a lot of the Gunn Show. We're on year 4 now, year 4 or 5. Salim's been on with me a few times, so you may notice him. But Salim, just in case somebody's joining us for the first time, could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Tony. I'm Salim Awad. I'm the president and CEO for Spinner Machine Tools in North America. And of course, always a pleasure to be with you in the podcast. And we've done it before. And we're going to keep doing it because we're never going to get tired of spreading the message of manufacturing, the message of what we're passionate about. So this is a platform that we will continue to use and that we're glad to do here with you, Tony.
Any excuse to hang out with you, I'm okay with it.
I like that.
And any excuse to be here? Yeah. I'm okay with that too.
We're very fortunate. Of course, we're here in Florida, South Florida, and not only we're seeing a great amount of economic activity, but I think that we're fortunate to enjoy a time where technology is developing at a pace that we have never seen before. Never before have humankind experienced technology and development at the pace that we're seeing it today. It's truly humbling for us to be alive at this time. And I want everybody to realize that in this year of 2025, we have the opportunity to build so many things, especially when we're in a country and in a time where we're able to really push to a level that we have never been able to push before.
Yeah, very well said. And I want to get into that more in just a second because what a fun topic, and it is changing so quickly. But I want to quickly thank our sponsors. Again, we can't do this without you. So Revelation Machinery, AMT, IMTS, EBITDA Growth Systems, NTMA, the Tecma Crew down in Mexico, Shop Floor Coffee, and the American Precision Museum. We are honored. Thank you so much. Yeah, we can't do this without you. So, Salim, we've done this many, many times. Let's first, I don't have an agenda today. I don't have any topics today. I just love speaking with you and learning from you. So I'm going to kind of let you run the show. But before we do, you mentioned how everything's moving so quickly, so quickly. You and I come from a generation where, okay, I'm going to tell my story. I'm going to see if you have.
I'm here for you, Tony.
I'm going to tell my story and see if you have some similarities. So I'm walking through high school. And I have my pager. I'm cool.
Yeah.
I can't always afford my pager, so sometimes it's just on my hip, but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And sometimes it does. So let's say I've paid for my pager this month, which is rare. Maybe like 3 months a year I can actually afford to pay for it. I'm a broke kid.
Right.
Right. So I have my pager. How do we communicate through pagers? The 411s, the 911s.
Right.
We started spelling things with numbers on the phone.
Right.
And in the worst case scenario, we walked over to a payphone, popped in a quarter, made a call, or did you do this? Called collect and said, "Hey, it's time to go. Give me a call. We're back."
Yeah.
And then somebody knows not to accept the collect call, but they can give you a free call.
Yeah.
Then we saw big phones, big car phones, big cell phones. They're about $3 million per minute to talk on.
Right.
Then we saw flip phones.
Yep.
Yep. The Burberry.
Yeah, the BlackBerry.
BlackBerry.
Yeah.
That I should know that. It went like this and then disappeared.
Yes.
And how many times do we have to text where you have to hit a number 2 or 3 times in order to get the letter you want?
Right.
Because every number has a letter, like three or four letters connected to it. And then the revelation of the first smartphone, I remember standing in line for it.
Right.
And getting the first smartphone and thinking, wait, we're going to have a computer and an iPod and a cell phone and text messages. And just a step back, when I was in high school, I had that weird noise computer that took forever to download anything.
Oh, the internet.
Yeah, the internet.
Oh.
And here we are today with AI everywhere.
Yes.
Cobots and robots doing everything.
Yes.
The programming that we work with in manufacturing is so intuitive with crash protection. And I bring this up because some of your machines are so incredibly sophisticated themselves to do multiple actions on one part that some people get afraid of them. But the technology and the AI that goes into it removes some of that fear. So anyway, that's my long-winded story. Did you have some of that going on in your life as well?
Yeah. In fact, I think I just got a text from my nephew. He's 20 years old, and he has a few questions. He wants to know, what is a pager? What is a payphone? And what is that noise you're referring to?
Yeah, anyone of my generation knows that annoying noise.
He grew up with this thing. My nephew is 20 years old.
You've got mail.
And the internet has always been there. Just like, we don't refer to the electricity, we say electricity, because it's something we have always had, right? You and I.
Sure.
Okay? The pace at which not only AI, but things that are going to come built on AI, right? It's going to transform everything that we do. And of course, what we're working on today, right, it's not for us. It's for the generation that is going to come 20 years from now, right? The pace of transformation has to include the fundamental principles of manufacturing, has to include a collaboration between countries such as Germany, and let's name every NATO country, the United States, Canada, Mexico, countries around the world that share the same principles. Manufacturing, believe it or not, and I say believe it or not because, of course, the news tells us a story that might be a little bit hard to follow. But manufacturing, in fact, unites us more than it separates us. It's a very global industry that has so many different facets and ways to specialize and ways to bring engineering and innovation to many different things. Not only how we make a phone, right? It's an amazing thing for us to take a piece of titanium and turn it into the frame for an iPhone.
It was aluminum when I was making them, by the way. Now it's titanium, yeah.
Absolutely. So even that, the process of the same similar piece of equipment is always evolving, it's always changing. But it's really about evolution, right? It's about the evolution of what is possible to leverage the capabilities of human beings. We're animals, whether we're like to admit it or not, and like any animal, we have our limitations, but we also have our potential. So this is what manufacturing, I think, is teaching us, that we're able to utilize our brain, our capabilities, and build on the experience of every generation that came before us to create and to explore the world around us, right? So when I say to create, of course, we're creating the phone, ways to communicate, ways to think, ways to analyze, ways to search, but also ways to explore. Is our mind limited to our city, to our country, to our planet, to the universe. And I think we're seeing that the dreams of universal exploration are quickly becoming reality.
Look, right now, kids are looking at what they're going to be doing in the future, and some of them don't even know what a career in manufacturing could look like. So what we're trying to do is support organizations and initiatives that are telling kids what a career in manufacturing is. So help us give back by purchasing Shop Floor Coffee. You can find us at shopfloorcoffee.com. We're on LinkedIn. Contact us. Let us know how we can support you and your organization.
Yeah, exploring is something certainly I know I love, and I believe you do as well.
Right.
I mean, country after country visiting, whether it's for business or pleasure, whether it was the iPhone that I was helping make with aluminum bodies, and they're like, no, we can get a better signal through our satellite if we use titanium instead of aluminum, which is kind of cool. But when I think about manufacturing, and I think this is how we really connect. Like you and I, we can talk to the cameras right now. We can talk to the audience. For anyone who's in manufacturing, and they know what we're talking about. They also get equally as excited with us.
Right.
So many of our friends are so passionate, just like we are, and we can talk back and forth for until our ears bleed.
Right.
Because we're so excited. But I think the topic that we're on right now about exploration and health and technology reaches the audience out there that cares very little or knows very little, not even to care or not care, but knows very little about how it's all done.
Yes.
But it's all touched.
Absolutely.
Just look around us real quick. There's a shower right there.
Yes.
There's a cold pool. There's a regular pool. There's a bar over on that side with a TV on the bar. There's a bathroom over on that side. There's a fan spinning right over there. There's a whole set of couches and chairs and all of it manufacturing.
Look, it's a time of awakening. We're awakening to the fact that we want to thrive in good health, right? We're seeing it by paying more attention to what we eat, to the energy that we allow in our lives, right? And by understanding that manufacturing itself is what makes our life possible, right? And so we're awakening to the fact that this is not something that we can ask somebody else to do for us. Just like
we tried that.
We tried. Well, look, we always want to go back to the principles. The principles really is personal responsibility. If you want to be healthy, you got to have that personal accountability. Nobody else can do it for you. If you want to build a great society and benefit from the amazing technology that we have developed, you have to take personal responsibility. And that means learning how to do it here in your environment. And, as you were talking earlier, I was thinking this needs to be almost a podcast or an interview, if you would. Not for the folks like you and I that already have this passion and love, and we're in it. We get it, right?
We're here.
We're trying to share this beautiful thing that we realize and that makes our sun shine every day like it's shining right now. But it's for the people that know nothing about manufacturing, right?
We need to reach them.
We need to reach them. We need to teach them and share with them why we love this industry and why they need to love it too. Because this is not about the people that make manufacturing the business. It's about everybody, right?
And I so much agree with that. And I've been, you and I, our brains are like chessboards. How can I move a piece around? And I've been moving pieces around to be financially responsible while simultaneously getting into the places that make the most difference. And we were just on another podcast, and the conversation was brought up about where do we start? Well, it's not in trade schools because they've kind of already believed in it, right?
Right.
We need to go to the middle schools and the high schools, but if we go a step further, it's really the parents. Because while we are having an awakening, as you called it, of people realizing, okay, my ROI getting into the trades, whether it be electrical or plumbing or some of these other welding, amazing trades that we need more of you. But obviously you and I are in manufacturing side of things. But whatever side, the ROI throughout the lifetime of a career is actually better in the trades than it is going to a four-year university. And don't get me wrong, we're never here to bash a university because they're wonderful. But if somebody is uncertain or maybe is going because they're told to go, because a degree will help them, and they don't really believe in the major that they're going for.
Right.
They're not happy with the direction their life is going in. The trades are going to leave them with very little debt or no debt, and give them a career that very likely they will love, with opportunities for entrepreneurship and growth and exploration of the world. I mean, manufacturing has taken me to over 80 countries. I know you've seen a bunch as well.
Absolutely. Look, and this is about helping everybody find their purpose. Look, manufacturing can be very complex, and as you have seen, and we all have seen, the latest technology available to human beings today is used in manufacturing. And for a lot of these, we need the people that have this very advanced degree. Maybe you're in physics, maybe you're in philosophy, maybe you're an engineer. But maybe your purpose is not in doing that. Maybe your purpose is in going to a lab and figuring out how a part can get made, right? The degree, the college degree, is secondary to the purpose and that fire in the belly that can ignite in a person when they realize that they can do something great, right? And I've seen it firsthand. And I'm going to talk about Spinner a little bit because I'm very close to it. So Spinner, of course, it's a machine tool builder. And we think of this German tradition of engineering. This is a tradition that we share here in the United States. A lot of the immigrants in the United States, and we all are immigrants. I'm a I came here by myself, right, as an immigrant. These ideas came from all over the world. But the German people have had a long tradition of engineering, advanced manufacturing, of apprenticeships, of what I call generational knowledge about understanding how these components come together, this energy that touches metal. So building machine tools for a spinner is something that comes from the generations that come before the ones that run the machine tool company today. It's family owned, it's a private company, and Axel Spinner will say it every time. We do this business because we love machine tools, because we love manufacturing, not for money. Of course,
money comes.
Money has to help us run the day, right? And we all needed to buy this coffee and to do everything that we did. But it's not the end, right? And so this is the passion that I want everybody to be infected by, and that when we come and we want to talk to you about machine tools, we want to talk to you about advanced manufacturing, about automation, about robotics, about artificial intelligence and data science incorporated into the manufacturing project. We don't do that just because we want to sell you something. We do that because we're passionate about it, and because we know that if you share that passion with us and we can work together, we can build something greater together.
Yeah. So many topics I want to take that toward, and so many directions. Because we started on, convincing kids that this is important. Right. Touched on STEM and the ROI, and I slipped past the part of how important it is to convince the parents of this, even if the kids do it, and we need to step into the elementary schools and middle schools, support these STEM programs. We jumped into the technology of Germany, which, you're right. And I think Spinner's been around, I want to say 1949?
1949, so about over 75 years.
So over 75, I mean, that in itself showcases the growth and development of what you guys are doing. But I also want to take just one quick moment, because you and I have been friends for a while now.
Yes.
And you had a position that I knew you in before you started working with Spinner.
Yes.
You're welcome to name drop if you want to. I leave that up to you. But you had that position, and I remember the transition of you going from one to the role you're in now.
Sure.
And one of the first topics you brought up to me was, Tony, I'm getting ready to reignite the excitement for the spinner machines here in the U.S.
Yes.
Let's do this together,
yes.
right?
Right.
How has that journey been over the last few years? Are you creating the awareness that you want?
Look, I think, Tony, that one of the reasons I came to you is because I knew that to ignite this passion on everybody, and let me just be clear, the Bucci Group is the company you're referring to.
Mm-hmm.
Look, this is a small manufacturing industry. The Bucci Group is still my friend. They're passionate about what they do.
I see them on the spinner machines when I'm filming.
Absolutely. Why is that? Right? And why is that? Because we share the same passion.
Yes.
This is, and their slogan is people, passion, technology. That lives through anything that you do in this industry, right? And so to ignite that energy into manufacturing is something that we have to do to be able to maybe not only grow the Spinner brand and bring these amazing machine tools that we can make, right? And we all want to say my machine tool is the best.
Mine's the best. No, mine's the best.
It's not about that. Right, of course, we have to make a precise part, and the machine has to do what we say it's going to do, and somebody has to run a machine shop, and they have to be able to be profitable. Of course, we have to do that.
These are knowns. These are the known conditions.
And let's set the foundation,
Right.
right? Of course, we have to do that. So let's take that as, yes, we will do that. But the most important thing is, can we build a relationship based on trust? When the next time that you need a machine, you feel, well, maybe Spinner can do it. Maybe he can help me find somebody else that can do it. So igniting that passion for achieving a community of entrepreneurs, of engineers, of manufacturers that not only encompasses what we want to do individually, but what we can do as a community.
Trust, the 5-letter word that means more than just 5 letters.
Yeah.
It is everything. I'm going to tell you a quick story, Salim. I was literally in a machine shop just yesterday. Maybe it was a few days ago. I don't want to give a timeline of where I was and who I was speaking with, just in case. But in this machine shop, they have, I would say, 2 to 3 different tiers of machines.
Yes.
Right? And what I mean by tier, for everyone watching and listening, is the amount of accuracy, precision, reliability, capability, and ultimately longevity through the investment.
Yes.
How long does it last? Is it going to last 20 or 30 years, even 40 years, some of these machines, versus 2 to 3 years before I got to start making repairs on it, right? And they were describing to me a few of their machines in their shop where they do their job. They do what it's set out to do, but they found that in some cases they were being promised capabilities that could not be done because the salesperson wanted to sell a machine in a situation where they probably should have just recommended another machine.
Absolutely.
That is trust.
Yes.
And that trust has then become a little bit thinner because that person should have just said, or those people should have just said, here's our wheelhouse.
Yep.
We recommend here now.
Yep. Yeah, you find unfortunate dynamics sometimes. And look, I don't like throwing the blame around because I get, people have to make a living. But exaggerating or misrepresenting is not the way to do it.
Don't think about just tomorrow, think about the next year. If we're trying to make a living, trust is all about that.
Right. Look, because machine shops, manufacturing in general, has to be able to rely on the value added from everybody. Look, we think a lot of ourselves, we make the machine. The machine tool is only a very small component of the full picture, right? There's so many things that gotta happen. There's gotta be a building, there's gotta be electricity, there's gotta be the software, there's gotta be the workforce, the engineer. So if we're gonna be allowed by a customer, let's call it a customer, a machine shop, a manufacturer, to be part of that equation, right? The least that they can ask of us is to tell the truth, right? And so what we find is that, when we come with open heart, if you would, and we can say, yeah, we can do that, we cannot do that, right? The opportunity is there later today, even if we cannot capture an opportunity to work with that shop today, right? And I think ultimately is what is going to allow us to be successful.
My name is Tony Gunn. I am currently the Director of Global Operations at MTDCNC. Why manufacturing? Why does manufacturing matter to you? There are a lot of youth out there that want to make a difference. They want to change the world. They've been inspired to change the world. They see videos out there of people changing the world, right? And whether you want to be eco-friendly and green, or whether you want to, do medical and help people walk again, or I've even seen some great videos of people who are, blind that can now see. And I know that seems strange, but check it out. Or can't hear that can now hear. People with heart stents that didn't think they would survive, and now they do. The world of manufacturing can change a reality for people. It can change the way you think about what is actually capable. And if you care about your family, you care about your friends, you can make this a part of your lifestyle. I want to talk to you about a portion of that, but take a piece of that and put it into another conversation. And that is the sometimes overwhelming capability of what some of these spinner machines are able to do. Because service and support is so important,
right.
And being able to capitalize our investment is. If I'm going to stick in the 3-axis world without automation, and no offense to anyone who's doing that, just let's be real with the capabilities that are out there right now with these, so many different turrets and 5-axis or 8-axis, or there's just so much that can be done, right? But I walk into a shop sometimes, and the machine isn't being utilized to its fullest capacity, and a lot of times that's about nerves or know-how, or not wanting the know-how because the nerves are there. How do we, because I've had a conversation where we need to develop a workforce that gets into the field that knows more than just 3-axis, or we want manual machining. I love the purr, I love the feel, we want that, don't get me wrong. But we need to get this workforce more adapted to this 5-axis machining, these 2 spindles with 3 turrets, or these mill turns that are out there like you have at Spinner, that can sometimes feel complicated. And we'll go into a trade school, or we'll go into a university and offer either a less expensive version or even a free version just to get it in there, and the school will return to us and say, that's too complicated for my students, we're scared to use it. How do we build that confidence for the generation coming in, but also the workforce now, to give them the opportunity to use these machines to their fullest capacities?
Right. Look, we gotta make them available. Right. We gotta put this 5-axis technology in front of them. We have to put the multi-turret technology and mill turn, whatever, what have you. Right. These technologies are not there for the purpose of being more complicated. They are there with the purpose to allowing us to leverage the capabilities and the limitations that we have. And what I mean by that is, in the United States, we don't have as many people as other countries, right? So we have to do what we have to do with less people. So, and this is manufacturing that is going to allow people to do more with the time that they have, with the capability that they have, right? And we have to work together. As a machine tool builder, we want to put these technologies in front of folks. We need the community college to be open to the idea of challenging those limitations and not accepting that just because it hasn't been done before, we cannot do it now, right? Look, we're seeing initiatives at all levels, from the federal government, from private industry, but ultimately it's going to come from families. I hear all the time, oh yeah, I love manufacturing, I support what you're doing, Salim. This is great for our country. Oh, and how's your son? Oh, great. What is he going to do? He's going to go major in philosophy at the university, right? Oh, okay, very interesting. Any thought of manufacturing? No, we want my kid to get a college education. But I want to challenge that college education is not opposite to manufacturing. I was saying it earlier. A lot of these things that we do require not only a college education, requires the PhDs, the most intelligent and bright people that we can muster in our society, right? And so it's a team effort at the community level, at the city level, at the state, at the country level, and more than that, at the level of our friends around the world, right? So think NATO, right? Look at the challenges, the geopolitical challenges that we're facing right now, where Ukraine is asking for our help, and we help. But then by helping, we realize that we are ourselves very short on the resources that we need to have to protect our way of life. That's a wake-up call, right? That's a wake-up call to us is a wake-up call to anybody who values democracy, that values freedom, and what we have built for many generations. So, look, this is not optional. This is something that we have to do. And I know we're passionate about it. This is what we do for a living. And we, somebody might be watching and say, oh, they want to sell machine tools. Look, we do this because we love our country, because we love the craft, and because we intend to keep it and to never allow it on our watch to die. We're not going to allow it. So.
Two things, actually several things I want to bring up. One, now the audience knows this is not a green screen, because we just had people walk by.
It's real.
It's real. This is not made up. Two, I love your points.
Yes.
One point I want to expand on through a story of my own is I've had the great opportunity to have filmed conversations with new and young trade school kids. Several of which are valedictorians of their school,
of course,
that have chosen the trades over university because they see the value in it.
Yes.
Several valedictorians. I think that's important to understand. I want to ask you a question just to hear your answer, challenge you a little bit.
Of course.
And then I'll tell you a story that I heard recently as well, going back to the complexity of machines, because you said it and you took it all the way into this awakening that we have about the importance of manufacturing, but in order to let's just use the word compete at a global scale,
sure.
With the current skills gap and labor shortage, we do have to invest and pay attention to these more automated machines, setups, more complicated machines, let's say.
Right.
So my question to you is, do you feel like a less experienced person is more capable to run a high quality machine, or to run a lesser quality machine that needs tuning on a regular basis in order to get the same quality parts off?
Yeah, what you find with this, and you said complicated, advanced, I call it advanced.
I like
machines,
advanced more
right?
than complicated.
And so
that's why you're better with words than I am.
Look, but
and it's your fifth language, I think.
Yeah, probably. But what you find is that, people that have been in manufacturing for a long time have learned certain things. This is the Rolodex, right? This is the toolbox that they have. Their knowledge, right? They know how to use this control, this machine, and that's what they have become comfortable doing, right? A new person involved in advanced manufacturing, they might find that they're able to learn these complex operations in a machine and get used to what it takes to be able to accomplish the task, right? We were talking about controls and how, the interface, right? You think about a machine tool, it's metal with software and now AI, right? And there is a way for us to communicate to this metal what we want done, right? So it doesn't have to be complicated. It is not complicated because we have the technology to help us get it done in a way that makes sense to somebody who has never seen it before. Now, you're talking about the valedictorian 19-year-old, right? Look, young people are extremely bright. Their mind, I believe in evolution, and I believe that we are evolving, right? And I think that I am excited when I see a young person for the first time encountering a machine tool and being fascinated by what's happening, right? I am still fascinated by it, right? And so when that happens and somebody can enjoy this tremendous universal technology that happens around a machine tool, I mean the tooling, the software, everything that's happening there, and then not only make a good living, right? Make good money so they can, be comfortable, but also find a new purpose and be excited about the next challenge. Doesn't matter how complicated it is. They want more complicated because we want to do more.
We like being challenged.
That's it.
Yeah.
So that would be my answer. Look, complicated machines are not really complicated. Think about driving a car. If you think about
smarter
what
the
a car is
easier
today,
to drive.
Think about 100 years ago.
I can't do a horse and buggy. That horse will kick my butt.
Absolutely. So I think that young people, new people in the manufacturing, they love the challenge. They are excited about it, and they look to us to guide them through the process.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell the story now because you're absolutely right and far more clever than I am, which is why you explained it so well. But I was having a conversation, and this machine shop has all sorts of variations of machines, from the manual machines to the highest multi-million-dollar machines in there. And they proposed to me this same question, and I gave my answer. The response to me was, a person with less years in the business is going to do better on a machine when they press that green button that does what it says and the part comes off as it says it will do, versus trying to make all of the offsets and changes and adjustments in work holding and coolant and thermal expansion and all these bits and pieces that 20, 30 years of experience must be to make that same quality part. So the reason I bring that up is because your machines are highly reliable. Spinner machines are highly reliable. But it's to the shops out there who in their head think, I need to buy a, I'm going to use the wrong word again because I'm just not as clever as Salim is, but I need to buy a dumbed down version of a machine because it's simpler for my people who don't have the qualifications that are required to truly make some of the parts I need to make. So I'm going to buy this version, and I'm going to buy 3 of them so I can move the part from 1, 2, and 3 because this machine is too complicated. I want to give confidence to the shops out there to buy and invest in the machines that when you press that green button, a novice off the street can get that same part as an expert because the machine does what it's supposed to do. And that was the answer I was given based on all of those different realities.
Yeah, that's why we put more technology on it, because we want to make it easier. There are all habits out there, right? And we all want to acknowledge that happens. But the truth is that if you're manufacturing, your responsibility is to always innovate, right? To find a better way to do what was being done before, right? We saw the tremendous effort in World War II to build everything we needed to fight this war and win. That technology was completely different. So if we had shops out there that are still using that technology, and there are, and they feel that, you know, there's better technology out there, but I don't think that I can accomplish more or better results with
I don't have the people to work them.
Or the people to do it. I think that we need to take a look at ourselves and understand what is the responsibility that we have. It's to take this knowledge and to package it in a way that the next generation can take it on, right? Because like we were saying before, Tony, this is not about you, it's not about me. And I think if we go and ask anybody in advanced manufacturing, they will tell you, this is not about me either. This is about what we can leave for the next generation so that they can continue doing this stuff. So we got to put aside our fears, our limitations, and focus on the abundance of technology that we have that will allow us to build a spacecraft, that will allow us to build the drone, the computer, the AI system that will be not used by us, but from somebody 30, 40, 50 years from now. That foundation, we have to build now. And if we refuse to use the latest technology, we are refusing to adopt the responsibility that we're given. And I don't know what that makes you, but to me, a duty comes with a responsibility to take that trust, like we were talking about the customer, right? And acknowledge it, and value it, and respect it. So, also for the shop that you're talking about, right? You don't have to do this alone. What do you think we do here? We work with you, right? And I think a lot of machine tool builders are ready to do that. Okay? It's not just Spinner. A lot of people out there that build machine tools are passionate about this, right? They all bring different capabilities. And, you know, we hope, of course, that you give us the opportunity to work with you. But you're not going to be there to do it by yourself. We're gonna work with you. We're going to make sure that that machine is running. We're going to make sure that we can train you in doing it. And as much as, you know, that sounds like a a tool for sales. In reality, it's a tool for us to feel comfortable in building a relationship. And overall, on time, we'll have that trust to work together and to not be afraid of giving that new technology a chance.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chicago, Illinois, this is IMTS.
The point of us being here today is because we're doing Faces of the Industry. Talking with MC and Bonnie, they want to see as much representation amongst everyone as we can. And what better to offer that than MTDCNC with a global channel and people all over the world. In fact, today we're representing Canada, Mexico, US, and Pakistan.
23 years in manufacturing, I actually go to IMTS this year with you, with everybody here at this table, and we get to go to all of these different booths. But it's just, the theme this year, every booth I go to, everyone's talking about partnership, everyone's talking about collaboration, not just working with us, but working with partners in industry. They're all finding ways that their products complement each other, how they can support the customer better, and that has had me so revved up all week. I mean, my voice is gonna die. I wanna go to bed, but at the same time, I cannot pull it back. I am just blown away by the experience.
Do you watch Marvel by chance, or Spider-Man?
I have, yes.
Do you? I can't be the only one who had this pop into their brain when somebody was speaking. Do you remember the quote from Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Immediately popped into my head. All right,
Yes.
Salim, I want to slide into, and I'm going to join you in this storytelling aspect, but I'm going to allow you to go first, of course. But I think it's important that we both share. We've been talking almost theoretical terms about what manufacturing can bring to people. But I know you have a story. And we can't tell everyone else's story. And sometimes when we talk only in theory, somebody will look at it and go, show me the facts.
Yeah.
Right? Show me the facts. So show me the truth.
Yes.
So would you mind sharing your story from, and you can do the abbreviated version of childhood, but from childhood to now, and what manufacturing and the journey of manufacturing has brought to your life, and I'm going to do the same when you're done.
Yeah, look, my journey, I think, is the journey of a lot of immigrants. I was born in Colombia. I never planned to leave my country, and I did because, around the world, there are things that happen that, force a person to take a step, right? The thing that happened to me was that my mother was murdered in Colombia in 1999. So I moved to the United States permanently. I joined the U.S. military, and I was sharing this with somebody the other day, that evil anywhere is evil everywhere, and that's one of the reasons I joined the Army, the United States Army. I joined the Army because I believe in our principles. This is not a sales slogan. This is a true belief. I believe in freedom. I believe in the potential of every human being, and in the possibilities that we all have. So through that journey, I realized that we always have to be fighting to accomplish whatever our purpose might be, right? And if I was given the opportunity to come to this country, to be part of this wonderful dream that we have been building and continue to build every day, the least I can do is to do my part. I did my part in the Army, I feel. I did always try to do the best we can. I became a lawyer and practiced law for many years because, again, I believe in our institutions. I believe in law and order. I believe in what makes us who we are. And those are the values that, through manufacturing, we can protect. So that's how I got to manufacturing. I saw the passion of the people doing things that you can touch and feel, that you can jump in a plane and say, this comes from manufacturing, right? And so I wanted to be part of that. I think passion, love, excitement is contagious. And when you find a group of people that are excited about what they're doing, that love what they do and do it with purpose and doing it in an abundant way, right? Where it brings prosperity to everything that they touch, right? You want to be part of that. And so that's my story. And my story is that every day that I go out there and visit shops like you do, Tony, I am amazed by the things I don't know and by the things that people are doing everywhere. I've been recently to a shop on the West Coast, And these folks are building spacecrafts to go to Mars. I don't even know how far Mars is.
Far.
Very far, right?
It's far.
So this is about the dream, right? America is a dream. America is not a country, it's an idea. It's the idea of freedom, right? Now the dream that we have of exploration across the universe seems like a dream right now. But I think that a lot of people will agree that if we follow that dream, we will see it come reality. You know, a lot of the things we do today, I've talked to people about this before, may seem like witchcraft to somebody 200 years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
Right? Even to us.
We probably get set on fire.
Look, it's to tell somebody who is 10 years old about the fact that there was a time there was no internet. There was a time where, you know, things didn't work the way we see it today. Will be totally astonishing to them. But who knows what the world is going to look in 100 years, right?
Wild to think about.
You and I will be gone, but what we did today will still be there.
I'm going to live forever. I'm joining that diet we were talking about.
You're going to join Brian Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm going to live forever. And I think it only costs, what,
Don't die.
$4 or $5 million a year to be on that diet?
Well, you know, what it costs is a commitment, right? We have to be committed.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we're realizing that we're not generally always recipients of the best information out there. We were talking about college. Those are the patterns that we got to be able to look at as to what really is happening, right? What is really happening to our health, the food we eat, the places where we live, the jobs that we want to aspire to have. Does it make sense to go to college or not? I don't know. I went to college. I went to grad school. And it made sense to me at the time, and it still does make sense. But look, I never want anybody to think that going into manufacturing means the kid that couldn't make it through college. I think the total opposite. I think when you're self-aware of what you want to do, you are going to be successful. We can only look at the CEOs of the top technology companies in our country. Many of them did not complete college, right? So what does that tell us about what individual potential is? Doesn't need to be reaffirmed by a piece of paper. It needs to be reaffirmed by the belief in your dreams and to have the courage to go and get it done.
Should we just end the podcast now?
Done.
Yeah, let's just get out of here. Let's go swimming. It's too good for me to follow up. All right, I'm going to share my story with you, the abbreviated version, as if you don't know it, because I know you know it. We've spent lots of time together sitting on the beach, having cigars, enjoying our beautiful life here in South Florida. Thank you for joining me here, by the way.
Absolutely.
By way of Minnesota.
I am loving it.
Your home is gorgeous. But I'm going to tell it to you as if you don't know it, because I think that's the best way to share with the audience who might not know it.
Yes.
So I grew up with darn near nothing. I grew up in a small town of about 12,000 people. I remember when the first stoplight went up. I remember when the first McDonald's came into town. When I bought clothes, the first year they were big, the second year they fit, the third year they were high waters, because that's how you had to buy. I couldn't buy clothes that fit because I couldn't afford to buy them every year.
Right.
My Christmases were only gifted pretty much for my grandparents. You know, my parents couldn't really afford, I was on, what is it called, reduced lunch, where I get a lesser cost lunch to when I go to school, and I was on free lunch for a while.
Yes.
My parents, we had food stamps for a while.
Yep.
From being in poverty. It sounds like I'm complaining a little bit. I'm not complaining. I'm just shaping the story, because there was a lot of good too. I lived on 10 acres of land. I had my own soccer field, for crying out loud, and soccer was my goal to get out of poverty.
Right.
As I got older, I was kind of troubled. Got in a lot of trouble. I have great friends to this day that were a part of that group, but we weren't. We were the typical misfits in school.
Right.
That maybe didn't always have the best home life, and so we took it out on our teachers or our peers or whatever it might be, and that was my lifestyle. I ended up dropping out my junior year of high school and ended up going back to high school to graduate on time. Went to summer school, but dropped out my junior year. Thank you very much to my teacher who allowed me to come back in, take my exam. He said, whatever you get on your exam is what you get for the year.
Right.
And that one exam, the C I got on the exam, was the last credit I needed to graduate on time, even though my junior year I only passed my summer school class of English and that one exam. So 7 classes, I passed 2.
What a great challenge, and you met that challenge.
Met that challenge. He called me while I was a lifeguard at that time, working at the YMCA. He said, I know you've dropped out of school, but I believe in you. Come take your exam. Whatever you get for the year.
Yep.
Amazing. He ended up becoming the guidance counselor, by the way.
Yes.
Amazing guy. So I graduated high school with a 1.26 GPA.
Wow.
It's a D-. Nobody should graduate with that type of GPA, but I did. I was really, really good at soccer. I mean, almost to the professional level. I've had friends at other schools find me. I don't have Facebook anymore, but find me when I used to have Facebook just to see if I went professional in soccer and to see what I was up to. Sorry, I disappointed you guys because I'm an idiot. But soccer was going to get me out of poverty, and I had some of the best recruiters recruited me at the best schools across the nation. Your University of Maryland, your University of Virginia's. People I was playing against were turning down full rides to go play pro in Germany, and go play pro in Europe. So I was surrounded by these type of people. My grades were rubbish. So I went to a junior college.
Right.
Crushed it. MVP my first year. Best offensive player. I was a 6th leading scorer in the nation.
Right.
And my freshman year at this junior college. And you'll never guess what happened next. I got kicked out.
Of course.
For bad grades.
Yeah.
So I got kicked out of 3 universities.
Yeah.
3 universities. So I ended up going to work. I didn't know what to do. I did some sales, some lifeguarding. I even did door-to-door sales. Challenging, by the way. Knock on a door, convince someone to buy something in 2 minutes. And I actually led the company in door-to-door sales.
Wow.
I actually did so well in my door-to-door sales, Salim, that I would finish about 4 hours early to everyone, and I would just go sit in the woods and relax until my shift was over, and I'd still go back to the office, sold more than anyone else. But in that time, I was introduced to a precious metals facility. Now, I'm telling this story for everyone who's listening right now because how many people these days go onto social media and believe that right out of college, they should be making 6 figures?
Yep.
We don't see the journey.
We don't.
Everyone, I hear a lot of complaining right now about, and for good reason, but I hear a lot of complaining right now about I can't afford my rent.
Yes.
I can't afford my rent plus my car. My job doesn't pay enough. We all went through that. That is not a generational thing. Every generation has gone through that. I worked nights, weekends, overtime. I started mopping floors, was my original job at this precious metals facility because I had the willingness to work hard because I came from nothing and had nothing and put in the work. So 6 years later, I was running this machine shop.
Yes.
I was programming all the machines, line by line programming, blah, blah, blah. Let's fast forward a little bit.
Right.
12 years of machining experience, jumped into a consulting company, which took me around the world to about 40 or 50 different countries, building distributorships, understanding manufacturing more, then moved into the media side of things where we are today. I fast forwarded that part because what manufacturing has brought to me is knowing very little about the world, having big dreams, and achieving those dreams through the world of manufacturing.
Yes.
Seeing the world, being financially secure, taking care of family, taking care of friends, being able to put a roof over my head, celebrate Christmas if I want to, or any of the holidays going around. Sit down with you right now at this beautiful background to have the courage to drag our butts to South Florida in a place we don't know because it's a lifestyle we want.
Yes.
It's these types of things that are kind of built out through the courage of manufacturing and what it brings to our lives.
Look, we share a lot in that, Tony, because you came from zero. I came to this country with zero.
Yeah, I remember that part of your story.
Speak the
Slept
language.
on a couch for a while.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you left that part out of your story.
But we didn't allow somebody else to define our value, right? We were ready to go out there and add value. And I would say, here we are in Florida, right? This is South Florida. Manufacturing is happening here.
Sure.
Manufacturing is happening everywhere in the country.
Shooting off rockets right up the street.
Absolutely. So look, if you want to find a purpose that can make your life better, and a place where you think you can add value, I think manufacturing needs you.
Yeah.
You know. So if it can happen to you, if it can happen to me to find that success, I think most people, if they're willing to work a little bit and they're willing to put their heart on it, they don't need a piece of paper to define who they are. They can define themselves for themselves what they can do and do it.
Very well said. And there's thousands of stories out there similar to ours, but all we can do is share our own.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to bring that to life instead of just being theoretical about.
No, this is real.
Yeah, this is real.
This is real. Look, had we not found those mentors, those opportunities, and been willing to work for it, and to go out there and do it every day, there's a good chance we wouldn't be sitting next to this pool.
He's an engineer, traveler, author, speaker, podcast host, and recently tried to go surfing in a hurricane. But will you please make him feel very welcome, Mr. Tony Gunn?
Thank you so much. How many in here love social media marketing? Whether we like it or not, that is how we reach other people. That is how we grow our businesses. That is how we inspire the next gen. We have a generational situation. This time frame is moving so quickly that what's happened is folks like myself and a little bit older than me, we have one kind of way of working. We like to work. We put our heads to the grindstone, you know. But there's a generation of folks right now that have the information at the palm of their hands all the time, and they can figure it out within seconds. And that generation learns differently. You've made me think of something. Do you have one mentor you can think of that you'd like to give a shout out to today?
Yes. Yes, there are many.
I have so many too, but it popped into my brain one person at the very beginning as well. So
tell me, go ahead.
Okay, so my guy is, we tell this joke a lot. Every machine shop has that guy with the cigarette, the cup of coffee,
right,
with the kind of grumpy, right, but knows everything about the shop.
Right.
That was my guy.
Right.
So when I was mopping floors and wanted to aspire to do something more, this 63-year-old man took me under his wing and taught me how to program line by line all my mistakes, take machines apart, put them back together. You know, we were doing floppy disks at that time, so take the computer apart and rebuild it where necessary. And I was a little asshole. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, when I was 22 years old, I knew it all. You know, when I was 20 years old, I knew it all. So for him to have the patience with me and see something in me that I didn't realize at that time, because all I wanted to do was play professional soccer.
Yeah.
And I got kicked out of everything, and I was doing this as a backup plan.
Right.
To show me the ropes. His name is Bill Sullivan. I hope you're still alive, and if you are, I hope you one day get to see this. Bill Sullivan, and I have lots of mentors, so many. To all of you out there, you know who you are. I love you. Thank you. But
Same.
Bill Sullivan was that starting point in the beginning of my manufacturing career that pops into my head when you mentioned the mentors just now.
Well, unfortunately, my mentor is no longer alive, and he was my commanding officer in the Army when I was an Army diver. His name was Captain English. Sean English, that was his name, not Captain English. But that's how I
like that name.
Captain English had a way of teaching everybody, and it had a big impact on me, on always doing the hard ride instead of the easy run.
Ooh, I like that.
Right? And that was what I think the reason I selected among so many mentors in manufacturing throughout my whole life. My own father, of course, a fantastic mentor, but what Captain English was able to inspire not only in me, but everybody else in our dive team, was that commitment to making sure that everything we touch is done with a good heart and with passion. Captain English died in combat while in the Army, and his contribution lives through everybody that ever had an opportunity to work with him. And there are many Captain English out there in manufacturing. I see them every day. They're teaching the next generation how to do things with passion, how to do the hard ride instead of the easy run.
Well said. How long have we been talking? Any idea?
I have no idea.
Me neither. I didn't start a clock. I have no idea, but I think that's a good way to close this out. Yes. We're starting to sit in the shade now, and it is winter. We're doing good. I'm not complaining.
No.
In fact, there's a young man in the cold bath right now in the middle of winter.
Yes.
And we're doing well. Any closing statements you want before we just kind of shut this thing down for the day?
I would tell everybody in manufacturing to be proud of what they're doing, right? To embrace the opportunity that have been given, and to go out there and have the courage to share with somebody else how wonderful this industry is. Go and do it. Don't keep it to yourself. You have a duty to go out there, find somebody who can benefit from a new purpose that will not only add value to themselves, but to their country.
Salim, thank you for being a friend.
Thank you.
Thank you for being an advocate. Thank you for sharing your time. It's the one thing we can never get more of.
Yes,
It's the one thing we can't manufacture more of.
that's right. Not yet.
And if you're not yet, well, what's that guy's name? Brian Johnson?
You never know.
We're working on it. So if you have shared your time with Salim and I today, it is also very much appreciated. It's the one thing we cannot manufacture more of for now.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing that. I hope
you.
you've enjoyed this show. Please leave comments. Give us feedback. We want to do better and better every single time. Salim has now joined me 3, 4, 5, 6 times at this point, and we want to keep getting better. So leave it in the comments. We rely on you to help us get better as well. Thank you so much, Salim.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, Tony.